Today on TNT Outdoors, we're going to turn this hyper tough 5000 lumen solar street lamp into a feeder light. So let's head on down to the TNT DIY garage. Welcome to TNT Outdoors. Of course, I'm your host, Scott. And today we are going to be doing a DIY project, creating a hog or varmint light. There are a lot of specific hog and whatever feeder lights out there, but they're not cheap. So I thought about how do I just make something myself, and then it occurred to me that there's got to be home security lights or something of that nature out there that are solar powered or battery powered, and also motion activated, and there are. So I've actually got two versions here. I've already made one of these hog lights for myself, and I actually made it out of this guy here, hyper tough 2000 lumen solar security light. It's actually got these three little panels. They do move and swivel. It's got the motion sensor, and it has a separate solar panel that plugs into it, and you mount these separately. Where I put mine, it actually worked out really well because the direction I wanted the light facing was a different direction than I needed the solar panel facing. It's kind of actually thick in the woods, and there's one spot where I can get enough daylight to hopefully recharge the batteries. So this particular design worked out well for me. The 2000 lumens at the distance I was at should have been plenty, I figured, and turns out I believe it is. So this one worked out really well. These little panels, could not get them off easily, so I just taped it all up, sprayed it, and there you go. Now, so let's put that aside. We'll focus on what we're doing today. This one is actually a Christmas gift for my mother. So Mom, if you're watching, I love you and Merry Christmas. And here's how your present was made. So here we go. So what we got here is we've got again, it's hyper tough. Both of these were at Walmart. The 2000 lumen version I just showed you, I think I paid approximately $35 for. This 5000 lumen solar street light was $60 at Walmart. And I actually, I saw some other videos on YouTube, just in general, doing some reviews and demonstrating what this looked like as like a security light or an outdoor light, and it looked bright. So hopefully once we turn it into a hog light, it'll still be bright and be wonderful. Let's see, it says it's got 120 degrees motion detection of up to 20 feet. We'll find out once we hang it. So let's unbox this guy up here and look at what we're gonna do with it. So, instructions, we don't need those right now. Get that out of here. Let's pull this bad boy out, take it out of here. All right, so it looks like this thing's its mounting bracket. We'll probably put it on a pole or something. I imagine you could put it on a 4x4 post or anything you decide to do. So, looks adjustable. All right, again, so it is solar recharged. So on the back of it, we've got our solar panels, one big solar panel. And on the front, we've got the little LED lights that are supposedly super bright and 5000 lumens. Awesome, and your motion sensor. So what we're gonna do is, it looks like this one I could probably screw off here. So we're gonna screw the cover off, and then we're just gonna paint it. And we're gonna go with red. I've noticed that a lot of the hog lights out there, the feeder lights, have switched to the green feeder lights. And in my opinion, the red's better. Red is actually higher on the wavelength of the light that the animals, specifically hogs is what we're talking about today, is higher up on the wavelength that they cannot see. Green is actually closer to what they can see. However, green to the human eye appears brighter. So if you're looking at a comparison of this same light in green versus red, head to head, the green one to the human will look brighter. And so, therefore, I think that the switch to green light may be more of a marketing thing than an actual usefulness on the hogs thing. You know, if it looks brighter to the human, oh, it's brighter and I can see further. And, you know, if you're really long distances, you know, maybe the green might be a smarter choice. But for our purposes, we're probably within 100 yards, so we're going to go with red. Now, what we're going to use is the Krylon. It's actually a stained glass spray paint. This one's cherry red. And stained glass, it is actually a translucent spray paint. So when you spray it on, it's not going to totally block out the lens. It's actually going to let the light pass through. It's going to diffuse it a bit and change the color to red. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Again, I've done a similar process, same paint, with this guy here, and it turned out really well. It puts out a lot of light. It's a nice red color. The only downside to these lights versus, you know, kind of your manufactured specifically for Hogs feeder lights, is when these come on, they come on. It's an instantaneous, you know, dark to bright. The feeder lights, they will have a, you know, they kind of dim up, because while hogs cannot see the red light itself, they will still see the shadows. So when the light comes on abruptly like that, you know, they'll be able to sense it. It's almost like a movement or the shadows that are created from the light. So they will see those, detect those, if you will. So that's why the abrupt light can be effective. It's usually going to be over some bait, so you know, if they run off after the first light, maybe they'll hesitantly come back and then they'll get shot. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to put some plastic down, get these pulled off, and then we'll start spray painting. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. All right, got the panels pulled off of the lights. Got our Krylon stained glass cherry red translucent spray paint. Shaking her up. Now this is going to take quite a few coats, but again it's translucent, so don't worry about it. It's not going to cover it up. Now you want to, of course, spray it evenly across, just kind of a light, even coating. Since we're doing multiple coats, you need to wait at least a minute between each coat, a minute or two between each coat. The can says to wait at least a minute. It says it's dry to the touch within 30 minutes, and then you can handle within 1 hour. Now it does say if you're going to repeat, you know, do more coats, do it within 4 hours of the last coating, or wait 24 hours. So we're going to do them all in a row. We're going to wait about a minute to 2 minutes in between each coat. Let's get it nice and dark. Nice dark red. All right, so here we go. All right, it's been about almost 2 minutes since our first coat, so we are ready to do coat number 2. But it occurred to me, I kind of made a boo-boo, made a mistake. You know, here I am spray painting, and you know, safety first. You know, I should set a good example. So you know, you probably should be wearing a mask, you know, when you spray paint like this, you know. So I apologize. You know, so I'm going to go ahead and get my mask and set a good example. And you know, thanks to the craziness for the last almost 2 years now, you know, we got masks on hand, and my daughter, you know, she like made mine pretty. So good deal. So here we go. We're ready to go. All right, we're ready to do coat number 2 now. All masked up, safe, and pretty. So here we go. All right, we'll be back for more coats.
18 coats later.
All right. So I noticed after doing, you know, quite a few coats of the stained glass paint here that, I don't know if you can see, the little bubbles that are over each of the little LEDs are not holding the paint very well. I think it's because of the rounded, it's kind of slipping right off. So you can see, so that's not going to create the effect that I'm looking for. So what we're going to do is we were spraying the outside, so I'm going to flip it over and spray them a few coats on the inside, see if we can get it to coat the inside of those little bubbles and get our red look.
19 coats later.
Alright, so we've done 20 coats on the outer side. Because of the way it looked, we went ahead and decided to flip it over and do some coats on the inside of the covers, and ended up doing 20 coats as well there. Maybe a little overkill, but I want it nice and red. It's going to be 5,000 lumens. Should blow right through all this color and make it nice and red. Should look beautiful. So now we need to let this dry. We need to let it dry. The can says it should be able to touch it within an hour as far as handling it. We're going to give it several hours before even handling it. And then we want to give it at least 24 hours to fully dry before we try putting it back on the light. The light we actually need to set out in the sun. It says 8 to 12 hours before the first use. So we got a couple of days before Christmas here, so we'll set it out a couple of days and wrap her up and give it as a gift, and then take the gift back and install it. We'll set it up. Look at that beautiful red. And we mounted our new Hog Light to a pole that we sunk in the ground approximately 20 feet or so from a feeder. This footage you're seeing was shot on a pretty foggy evening, and it just started drizzling, and you can see from the footage that it lights up a pretty decent area. Pretty happy with it. Thank you for watching today this installment of the TNT Outdoors DIY Garage as we turned the hyper tough 5,000 lumen solar street light into a feeder light. I hopefully enjoyed the video and found it informative and hopefully entertaining as well. And if you liked it, please consider subscribing. We got a lot more content coming out. We got some more product reviews, DIY ideas. We got other outdoor hunting content coming as well, including videos of head-to-head product matchups. Well, thank you again for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.